What have you seen from the two guards early in auto, and how come they listed our starters this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's opportunity. What I've seen is that they're hungry, they're working at it, focused. I think their level of preparation, when you come in early in the week and you know you're going to be the guy, so it kind of levels up their preparation and seeing them in the building more, so which is good, you know. So it's that nervousness, that anxiety of doing it in the spot, but also this is Otto's second time. I love you too, sir. This is Otto's second time kind of knowing he's going into it, so understanding, learning from his mistakes before and kind of continue to progress. So just seeing the different nuances, because it is different. You know what I mean? It is a different tempo, speeds that you're going against. One of the Duke who's a great defense, so that even ramps up more. So just that preparation is leveled up a bit.
That was your first chance really to see Otto in a game situation, in a setting. What did you see from him during that game and then watching film afterwards? Yeah,
I mean, he had some high moments, he had some low moments as well. I think it's the same thing that Jalen Early had when his first start in his career was against Memphis, and it was unexpected. And then against Cal, he knew he was going to be the starter, so you saw that progression, and he did a little bit better. But then with Otto, same thing. Knew he was going in first time, like, oh man, I see what, it's almost like they see what you're saying. Like, it's important in practice, but when you see it in real time and there's no, hey, let's run it again, I think their level of focus and preparation takes up a bit. So gaining that experience is going to help them. But also those two guys, I mean, they've shown that they can, they got the capability to do it.
Getting early in that guard, is that optimal position for him? Is it about getting the best five out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's optimal for him. I mean, I think, you know, he's adamant about wanting to do it as well. It kind of fits his attribute and his build a little bit more, his athletic ability. It also assists us in pulling. You know, we want to pull faster and bigger. I mean, and faster and more athletic in situations. So I think that fits him a little bit better.
What kind of response have you seen from some of the older guys that maybe, you know, aren't going to be in the starting lineup? Like, are you seeing them respond?
Yeah, number one is response, healing, all of that kind of good stuff, man. It's a kind of a combination of them all. But I had no worry about, you know, the mentality of us making changes in that room, because it's not like a hidden conversation. It's not like a surprise or, hey, surprise, you're not going. It's well understood from the meetings that we have as a group.
What's something going to be done? The offense not going to be emphasized when going against Duke defensive front?
Yeah, I think Duke does a good job of playing without hesitation. You know, I think, you know, this is our, you know, we've seen, you know, Manny run his defense and do a good job of making sure he doesn't give you the same pictures, surprise you with some twist looks, also giving you some base things that if you're looking for everything else, you can chase ghosts and be chasing something that's not there. So it's kind of like, you know, like sometimes you just got to stay focused on doing the first thing first and prioritizing it. But also, it's not just his defense, it's also our identity and what we need to improve on going into the plan as well. Because we got a lot of holes and things we got to make sure we're hitting on before we even start worrying about somebody else. So it's making sure we're putting the guys in the situation, but also holding ourselves accountable to what's being and making sure that improves as well.
Maurice, you know, a couple snap issues the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Norvell said it was something you hadn't seen in so long. How has he handled that?
He's been fine. I mean, I think, you know, just like anything else, whether it be kickers, snappers, throwers, guys that miss things like that, you have those lulls mentally a little bit and you kind of get in the routine of the same thing, but also I saw him make that mistake, and I saw him putting the work in after practice to go back to the drawing board and start over, because he's been so reliable at it. But sometimes you find a routine and you get comfortable like anything else, it'll smack your ass in the face and it'll make you humble. So now I got to go back to the routine that got me into this position. If not, then, you know, he knows what happened.
Coach Norvell talked after the Clemson game. I think there was a plan that didn't happen to maybe get Luke some action. I don't know if that could happen this week, but if it does, like, how do you balance that with two guys who probably could both be the future at the position?
Man, you're still splitting the reps at it. You know what I mean? There's still certain things that we want to showcase, but they're both in there splitting the reps at it, getting the competition going, but also they're good relationships. So I think, yeah, that was the plan, but then Brock kind of got rolling pretty good, which is always going to be the case when you're playing two QBs, but also it just shows our belief in him that we're not scared to put him in there and the situation calls for.
What do you guys need to see from the receivers in a more consistent way? You know, drops have been kind of an issue in practice. And
I think all of it, as you talk about inconsistency, is you talk about the total offense. I mean, we've had too many times where it's one or the other, where the receivers are catching the ball, but we get a holding call. We break a run and get there, and then we get another holding call. Or we got a guy open and we get sacked. Or, hey, with guys open, we overthrow or we miss it. whenever inconsistencies show up, it's happening from top to bottom. So it comes back to, number one, our ownership and making sure we're putting the correct personality there for the opportunity, but also granting opportunity for improvement based upon what we're seeing every day. So it's that balance of finding those guys that really want to go do it, but also showing the consistency of applying the work to get better and improve at it to be able to do it. Because if you don't get the opportunity to improve, then you never know if it could have improved. So it's that balance of finding those two. But you see we're starting to create opportunities, because when that happens, it creates opportunities all across the board. You've seen the changes, but also that doesn't mean go sit in the back. Now you got to go improvement, because we're going to need you again. It's going to come back. It always comes back around. Well, you might say, all right, get the guy out, and then eventually something happens. You got to rely on that guy again, and the work that he showed in that position is going to show up again. So still staying at it and still improving.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All good. Thank you.